In the beginning of April, 100 of Russian voices were heard all over Washington, D.C. Hopefully, it was a sign of changes for better, since all of these people discussed ways to build a more open, safe, and diverse society. In August, 100 of talented students from all over Russia arrived to the United States to provide a cultural exchange and to build connections with America. The students received placements in different states, from Washington to Florida, to spend one academic year in the American environment.
It was always my dream to come to the United States for studies, and this program let me do that and achieve my goals and make my dream come true. I just want to know what's the difference between Russian educational system, about the culture, what we have similar, what we have different. Actual goals of the program, like to share the culture. I think we did really good job, and when I get back home I might share a lot.
They came together to summarize their experience and find out the ways to build the new bridges with international communities in business, politics, and education.
Well, I was really excited before we came there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet new students. I'm gonna get all the stories about their experience, and I did. It was really great to meet our sponsors that we talked only online, and our advisors. I was like, I trying to ask them questions, adversity questions that I really like personally interesting.
In the United States, we have made different approach to education, social institutions, and even to interpersonal communications. And we want to apply this knowledge in our home communities.
So yeah, I would definitely start my own volunteering organization based on campus. Our country started being so open for volunteering experience.
One academic year in the United States has broadened our horizons, and we hope that we also provided our American friends with the different perspectives.
People, they're kind of different, their mentality, their culture, they're really open, they're friendly for everyone. And if we will be like that friendly and open to each other in Russia, like our society will be like way better.
We didn't come to the United States to change the world, but we're sure that communication and cooperation in our professional fields can make world a better place.
Welcome to Cowley College News' 7th edition of the year.
We appreciate you all tuning in. This is going to be the final newscast of the year.
Yeah, and Taylor, we've been doing some behind-the-scenes work, haven't we?
Oh yeah, Joe. Have you taken a look around campus lately?
Yeah, and it looks fantastic. I tell you what, when the people at Cowley facilities put the right work into it, this campus looks fantastic.
Yes, I bet those hard-working folks could use a great meal. Word on the street is the Tiger Deli's reopening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's going to be great. They're having upgrades, new management.
Wow.
Here's Trevor and Macy with the full story.
Macy and I spoke to the staff about the setbacks, the origin, and the new updates to come to the Cowley Deli fall 2022.
Unfortunately, the previous manager submitted her resignation in late January, and so it just kind of left us without a manager. And if approved by the Board of Trustees, a new manager will be hired and will begin the position on Tuesday, April 19th. And then we'll open the deli. So for this school year, it probably means that the students this year aren't going to see the deli open, but we plan to have it open throughout the summer, and then of course be full steam ahead for the fall semester. So
New additions to the deli are already in the works, and students can see a big change starting the fall semester of 2022.
It'll be exciting to see what the new manager brings to the table.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's in store for the Tiger Deli. I'm going to go haul out a sandwich as soon as possible.
Yeah, not only is the Tiger Deli great for a sandwich, it's also great to hang out with your friends.
Are you graduating in May, Joe?
I am. I'm going to walk in the 10 o'clock ceremony.
Yeah, I have a few friends transferring away. I'll probably catch the 1 p.m. one.
Oh yeah, and speaking of transferring, Taylor and Annie got to catch up with the people at Impact to talk about how transferring on students has been going for them.
A lot of people think that Impact is for students who struggle in academics, and that is not true. And we have a lot of 4.0 students that are in Impact. I think that surprises a lot of people. What we try to do is provide whatever the student needs. And so I just wanted to make sure people understood that some students don't need the tutoring aspect, but they need the transfer.
I help transfer students at Cowley College transfer to Ford University by just assisting them in different ways. The biggest thing for me, a recommendation that I give to our students, is to dual advise with a lot of the different colleges and universities. different states require different things. So, for example, Texas, they want you to have 10 hours of science, no matter what your degree is. Here at Cowley, we only require 5 credits hours of science. So just small things like that to be able to help the transfer process be a little bit more smoothly for them.
Okay, some of the qualifications needed to be in Impact are you must meet income guidelines, meaning you receive Pell Grant, have a documented disability, and be a first-generation college student.
So just making sure that you communicate with your advisor while you're here at Cowley that you're thinking about a particular school that's out of state. That way we can advise you accordingly. To pick your top 3 universities and kind of model yourself for those universities, not just while you're here at Cowley. Trying to think towards the future.
The main focus of our program is to graduate from Cowley and transfer to a 4-year degree.
It's awesome to have a program like Impact on campus. You know, I had no idea there was so much going down in the basement of the jungle.
Yeah, it's an impressive program, and they really open a lot of doors for the students.
Man, Taylor, we better be successful because we have to pay for this college education somehow, and things are not getting any cheaper. Have you filled up your belly or your gas tank lately?
Yeah, man, fast food used to mean cheap food, but inflation's really hitting the average college kid.
Oh yeah, and they are putting the poor in poor college kid. But luckily, you and Luke, you guys got to talk to Holly Harper about how inflation is impacting everyone.
My name is Taylor Kilpatrick, and I'm outside here at the local gas station to talk about inflation and how gas prices has affected our economy. Me and Luke talked with Holly Harper. How does inflation work?
So inflation is really just a way of analyzing how prices are moving. So when prices are moving up, like say over all goods and services, and if prices are moving up, they say they're inflating. So where we are right now is about 8% nationally. So inflation really is just a change in price. So you can actually see prices go down, which is what they call deflation, or prices go up, which is inflation. So right now we're seeing inflation because we have all of these products we need, but we can't get them. So COVID, really played a part in that. What was one thing that you remember when the pandemic started that was either hard to get or a price went just crazy?
I'd probably say toilet paper.
So now you've got people stockpiling toilet paper, right? But now the supply is gone. The demand is huge. We all want toilet paper, right? And we want to get it for the best price. So they're going to jack the prices up because they're trying to produce faster and faster and faster. Right. So that's another example of inflation. So we caused that when we had a rush of anxiety I need to get toilet paper. The prices are going to rise, and then we hoarded it. So we kind of created our own problem there.
And recently, the college actually told us we can't build as much in class, and which kind of limits our class time. And the reason that bothers me so much is because the whole point of our class is we're supposed to be building. And with the limit on the materials we buy, it kind of really limits what we're able to build and what we're able to do with our class time.
Inflation affects more than just our economy. It affects people's way of life. We just want to give a special shout out to Holly Harper and our other guests for their time. Thank you.
Sounds like what we're experiencing right now with inflation won't change here anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that just keeps coming around. Prices go up and they never really seem to come back down.
Yeah, things just keep getting more and more expensive. It's not like it was about 100 years ago.
100 years ago, just like when Cowley College first became an institution. And let me tell you, I love what is happening on campus. They're going to replace the street signs from green to orange, and they've also got some orange tulips planted out there in front of the brick wall. It's really going to look nice for the 100-year anniversary of Cowley College.
Yeah, so much has changed since this campus began back in 1922.
Oh yeah, especially the difference in the relationships between students and professors and athletes and coaches.
Yeah, Michaela and Luke spoke to athletes and coaches about how the relationships have changed in recent years. And what do you need to do if you feel like there needs to be a change?
I think the best one is to get to know each other. I like to get to know my players. Usually my first question is about family. I ask about themselves and what they like, what they don't like. Kind of little things that makes a difference when we deal with the issues and problems. But I strongly believe that getting to know each other, where we come from, family relation, and it makes easier. I think everything. At women's soccer, primarily, I always stress that to them. Preparation is the key for our performance, and that it starts outside. The social life, the academic life, those things will affect the athletic life. Soccer, we try to be as fair as possible.
I feel like the coaches, not only being a coach, like they should ask their players, like their athletes, how they're doing outside of just their sport, like their personal life and school-wise, like they're not just athletes, they're people too. I feel like coaches and athletes, like we're one big family, we should be treated as family and not like robots to do what we're here for. Like, yes, we're here on scholarship, but we have feelings too. I feel like coaches do not treat their athletes fairly across the board all the time, because it honestly depends on what sport you're in, and the school holds other sports higher than others.
I feel my coaches always treated the athletes equal, fair. They always demand us to do a lot of stuff, but it's equally. They never asked me to do something different than other players, so I agree that it's fair. I think Cowley is a good program, excellent program. I don't see anything that could be different to be better. I'm loving Cowley. I'm in love for Cowley, so it's that it is.
I do not feel that coaches treat their athletes fair all the time. I feel like a lot of the time that they do, but there's just sometimes that they forget that we're not robots. What can be done better on the coaches' behalf for a better program is maybe to be a little bit more lenient with the athletes. We can't race every week and we hurt mentally, emotionally, physically, and just maybe to be a little bit more understanding on that part.
I believe that it's a matter of moderation. You cannot be so too friendly with the players. You cannot just be their best friend, but you cannot be so distant. So if we're talking about professionalism, it needs to be that relationship where the coach is not going to cross the line and the athlete is not going to cross the line. So I think you have to think about moderation and balance. It depends on what the athlete does. If you are talking about studying or partying, again, I'm big for moderation. I think athletes, they have 3 areas they have to focus, which is academics, athletics, and social.
Yes, honestly, I do feel that coaches treat the athletes fairly all the time. What they work for is what they get. In my opinion, coaches do 100% of their job as far as when it comes down to recruiting or doing what's best fits for the program or the team. They take full responsibility and do 100% for their part.
I don't feel like coaches always treat their athletes fairly. I feel like for the majority, most do, but there's outliers that can occur in any group. So there's definitely some coaches, and I feel like there's probably some on this campus too, who sometimes don't always treat their athletes in the most fair of ways. I think that the best thing to be done by coaches is to listen to their athletes. I don't think that athletes always feel like they're well represented by their coaches or that they're actually taken account of.
The relationship between coaches and athletes should be a special bond. It should be a bond that benefits both the athlete and the coach during the time that they work together.
Oh yeah, and as a tennis player, I can full-heartedly agree with that statement. It takes hard work, dedication, and an understanding between coaches and athletes to really make a special team.
Arnold had a follow-up story on a track star that definitely left his mark on the track field.
Oh yeah, he talked to Jason O'Toole, Coach Reith, and Adrian Diaz-Lopez about his decision to sign with Wichita State.
Cowley has a solid sports program which draws recruiters from all around. Sophomore Adrian Diaz-Lopez, one of the top runners on the nation, has drawn the attention of many of those recruiters looking to enhance their track programs. This celebrated athlete was sought after by over 40 colleges and recently signed to compete close to his adopted home at Cowley.
I signed with Wichita State, and the coach of Wichita State and me, we have an incredible relationship. He was supporting me. I think he and me, we're going to be a really good partner for next season and for the next 3 years.
When it comes to the recruiting process, in particular with Adrian and Wichita State, them coming down to see him, Coach Hunter going to see him at nationals, at the national meet, played a major difference maker for him. He wants to be a part of the team, kind of a deal. Like, he values effort. He wants to be wanted when it comes to the team that he's going to be going.
When it comes down to relationships, a student athlete wants to feel good about where they're going. Once again, they want to go to a place that wins and has good tradition, but it also has to be a good fit for them. And sometimes a coach or a recruiter from that university can be the person that is the final piece to that puzzle. To where coaches, it was just something they said, it's something they did. Once again, back to that relationship, telling them the truth, and so that trust that a coach is going to get you to where you want to be.
In Cowley, I learned a lot. I remember at the beginning, when I come here, my English was terrible, and always the relationship with Coach Khan was incredible. So he gave me the opportunity to improve a lot, and fall in love of Cowley. I meet a lot of people here, and they give me the chance to go as far as I can go.
Wichita State has gained a stellar athlete, and we look forward to keeping track of all of his success.
Cowley's track team sure is having a great year this year. Seems like you can always count on that.
Yeah, our track program is nationally recognized, but the team is hurting right now with the loss of beloved former head coach Mark Phillips, who passed just last Tuesday.
We would like to honor him with this tribute for his time here at Cowley and all the people he inspired.
He was a goofy dude, but he was a stern guy. I remember whenever COVID hit in 2020, my mom was in quarantine and I couldn't go home because of that. And Coach Phil texted me and was checking on me, wished me a happy Thanksgiving, trying to see what I was doing. And I told him I couldn't go home, and he invited me to Arc City with him and his family. And Charlie and I went and stopped by and had a great time. And I appreciate Coach Phil for that forever. I had seen what he had done with other athletes, and I wanted to achieve those goals, and because of that I did what he said, and it worked out for me. Having a really rough day, and Coach Phillips stayed with me at the track until 8 p.m. and like looking back on it, it's crazy because he had a family, kids, a wife, and like he was more than just a coach, and for him to stay at the track till 8 to me was really memorable and important.
In the van on our way back from Garden City, and it was like 2:30 in the morning. We were all passed out, just packed down in the van, and we're like just coming into Arc City, and he turns up Thunderstruck so loud in the van, and just starts like headbanging and like pushing on. I think it was Parker Ray in the passenger seat, like gets us all lived up. He was so successful because he treated you how professional athletes get treated. His personality was everything. He was very rarely, if ever, in a bad mood. I never caught him in a bad mood, but he would sipping his sweet tea, sitting on the side, and you'd do something, and he would get just as excited as you, if not more.
I'm glad he's at peace now, but he's definitely going to be missed by lots and lots and lots of people. He was one of those people that if you ever had the opportunity to meet him and to speak with him, you were very lucky. Like, he didn't let any of those challenges stop him. He didn't let nothing get in his way. Like, he was going to come to our meets, and he was going to make sure that he's sitting right there, like, and trying to be supportive as much as he can. I would like to be somewhat equal to the type of coach he was, just because of the way he was respected by everyone that he's crossed paths with. Coach Phillips asked me if I can help him scoot his picnic chair closer to the finish line. And I just remember like picking it up and like moving it a couple inches closer, and I was like, is this good? And he just nodded his head, and then he gave me like a thumbs up, and he was like, good luck. And I grabbed my spikes and everything, and I went to the start line. At the very like end of the race, me and this other girl were kicking to the finish line. I just remember like looking right ahead of me, and like Coach Phil was just standing there. And I knew like it took a lot for him to stand up and to try his hardest to cheer for me to finish that race and to win the race. And whenever I crossed the finish line, I just went up to him and like he gave me a hug, and he was like, good job, I'm so proud of you. And like hearing those words from him like definitely meant a lot to me.
It was good because he's been doing this for almost 40 years, and so I mean I learned a lot about like solving like complex issues with simple solutions. Dropped everything he was doing to help me move, help me set up some stuff. I've had a lot of people reach out to me in terms of, you know, just past alumni that he made a profound impact on. like his initials are MAP for map. So he took great pride in like knowing where everything was. We could be in Lynchburg, Virginia, and he knew where everything was. He knew the routes to get there. Like he has a place and a spot for and a purpose for absolutely everything around our facility, our everything. Everything had a place and a purpose, and he had a system for everything. His name is synonymous with Cowley, you know. And I hope that we can keep doing it, keep the ball rolling, and build on what he built.
It's wonderful to hear such positive things from people who knew Coach Phillips.
Yeah, and from everybody that I talked to, he was truly an inspiring human being, and he's going to be missed by many.
Yeah, Joe, I think it's important to honor those people who just give themselves to other people to help them live up to their full potential.
Yeah, and we're going to hand it over to Cody for the Sportscast. He has some updates on some of the teams and a few profiles on some outstanding Tigers.
All right.
Marco's not only a great coach, but a great man. He was adored by his athletes, fellow coaches, and the entire Arc City community. And 2 of his athletes have done their jobs, etching their names into the record books. Adrian Diaz-Lopez and Diego Andres Dugan were those 2. But let's move into our first story. The tennis team is doing very well in the early polls so far, with the men's team in first and the women's team in fourth. Our producer Jared Oberlechner talked to head coach Raga about the teams.
The men's tennis team has been killing it on the court with a record of 12-1, while the women are kind of struggling, but they're still ranked 4th at a record of 9-8. I talked to Coach Raga and see about this kind of weird spot they're in.
Yeah, we started off kind of slow the beginning of the year. You know, a couple of the girls were injured. Sometimes it's very tough when you have one of your. It was actually 2 of your top players, that can't play. So we have to, move people up, and now they're healthy though. They play against Seward. They're doing a little bit better. So it's been up and down. I think we just need match play and a little bit more confidence, and we'll get over the hump in the next couple of weeks. We just gotta practice. We gotta go out there and play. We finally have the team back. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's doing good. So we just gotta play. We just gotta do our thing. Go out there, play. Hopefully, we've lost 5 or 6 really, really close games. So I think we have learned from those ones, and hopefully they go our way, coming forward.
Despite some bumps in the road, Coach is still aiming high for nationals.
We're excited. I think we're gonna have a good tournament there. It's really hot there, and our girls are from Europe, South Africa, South America, so they're used to the heat. And last year, we could see it that they were just. The heat wasn't affecting them as much as other teams, so we're excited for that.
Thank you, Coach Raga, for speaking with me, and good luck to the players at Nationals.
Great work, Jared. And let's move on to our piece about the softball team. After throwing a no-hitter against Fort Scott, sophomore pitcher Ashlyn Mercer did the unthinkable against number 10 Highland. Our reporter Malu Garuba went down to the field to catch Cowley history.
Ashlyn Mercer broke Cowley's record of 18 strikeouts in a single game in the match against Highland. I got the opportunity of speaking with Coach Hoyt, assistant coach Story, and the player.
Ashlyn's having that year for us, and she is a stud within herself as well too. So that's a huge honor for her, and I'm super glad that she was able to get that as far as a credit for her, and just kind of show like that her hard work is paying off.
I mean, anytime you break a record, especially at a school with a program that has the history like Cowley softball does, it's a really, really big important thing, and she's earned it. I mean, she's worked really, really hard these past few years to be as successful as she is, and her name being in the record books is just going to solidify that for a long time. So that's pretty cool.
Like, honestly, I was kind of shocked. Like, I didn't know I broke it until people were talking about it, and then I had saw online about it. So like, it was pretty shocking. Like, I was pretty excited because I almost broke the 7th inning. Just a normal game. Like, I've tied with it twice, and I've been trying to break it all season. So like, that's my next goal. But I mean, I can't really do that, unless I have my team behind me, supporting me 100%, my coaches and my parents and my friends and everybody else.
As far as this year goes, I think she's done a really great job of controlling her hitters throughout the games. She's had a couple great games where she's had a lot of strikeouts.
She's a special player, works hard, and is a good teammate to the rest of the girls.
If we're struggling, if I'm struggling, like personally pitching, or if like my offense or defense, like I keep myself pretty composed and I try to pick my players up and, just keep really good energy.
Breaking records is always a great way to finish strong at your college. Ashley has demonstrated that she's working hard to achieve more. Follow Lady Tigers on social media to don't miss anything.
The Cowley baseball team is having another spectacular season and is currently competing for their 5th straight conference title. The pitching this year has been outstanding, with Grant Adler and Aaron Weber both pitching 6-0, and Weber throwing a 5-inning no-hitter. And before we get into our final segments, I'd like to talk about the teams that we don't currently have a story for. Wrestling ended with now 2-time All-American Ryan Smith placing 5th at 133 pounds at Nationals. Both basketball teams had their seasons cut early in the second round of regionals. 2 players from the women's team and 1 from the men's were selected as All-Americans. Martina Kowalska and Bailey Fincher for the women's team, and Clarence King for the men's. The dance and cheer teams had outstanding competitive seasons, with the cheer team taking 1st in nationals and the Tigerettes going down to Florida and taking 4th in team and 2nd in Palm. Volleyball had an amazing season, going undefeated all the way up until the championship match, where they lost a close one to Parkland. The team looks to add 3 fresh and exciting new faces, adding experience and physicality to their roster. Malou has the story.
The preseason of Lady Tigers have started busy and tough. Looking forward to show off results during fall. Upcoming players, new captains, and high-level scrimmages are waiting for them. I got the chance to speak with Coach Graham, new captain Lacey Bucker, and upcoming player Anna Kish.
Is Anna Kiss, who's from Hungary. She's a former national teammate for G. Roski that plays for us right now. She's an outside hitter that has played on numerous national championship teams. So she's an all-around player that gives us a lot of depth there.
I hope to have a lot of success. I want to fit in, learn and play well. I want to be a key member of the team. I want to develop and play a lot and also win all the games with Cowley.
New season approaching means new team captains. Sophomores Lacey and G are set to occupy Eva Halativa and Erin Thompson old spots.
Some things that I learned from Eva and Erin is never be shy to stand up for your teammates and for yourself. They were very vocal leaders with us, and they did a very good job of you always knew they had your back. You always knew that they were going to support you no matter what, and that is something that I definitely took back from them.
I thought they did a very good job of being role models and showing how things are done and how we do things here to enhance the culture. That was one of the things that Aaron and Eva really wanted to push was the culture. We have a good culture here, but they wanted to take it to another level. And I think our new captains and Lacey and G are going to bring that forward because they learned so much by watching Aaron and Eva, and I think that's what we want. We want them to pass the torch down, and when Lacey and G's time's up, I hope they do the same thing.
Cowley volleyball team plays their last scrimmage on April 23rd in Washburn University. Make sure to follow them on social media to stay aware of the score.
While waiting for the new players' arrival, the captains invite the Arc City community to W.S. Scott Auditorium to watch an open practice on April 19th and a scrimmage on the 21st.